Hi guys, it's Jessica at Dear Emmeline, and today I wanted to share with you a simple fleece bow tie scarf for boys. The way this scarf works is the center of your fleece will get a bow and you'll have two tails coming off of it. The way this is worn is you stick the bow tie under your chin or under your son's chin if you're putting it on for him, and you wrap the tails around. Let's see if I can get this. You wrap the tails around to the front. Get your hair out of the way. So your bow tie will be in the center and your two tails will be wrapped around. You can tuck the tails into your shirt or jacket. And then what you will see is just the bow tie. The bow tie that I made on this one was a little bit big for my son. He's a 1.5 years old. It was a little bit big for his neck. Kind of looked like a clown bow, which is okay because I thought that might be cute too. And I was just practicing for what size I wanted. So this was a measurement. The bow was measured 7 inches. And for my next one, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and see how that looks on him. This was cute. It just was more like a clown bow tie than a regular bow tie. So we're going to put this one off to the side and I'll show you how to make one for yourself. For your son, I should say. What you will need is I got a 1/4 yard of fleece. You really don't need a 1/4 yard because I cut one strip of fabric that was about 3.5 inches wide. I measured with the stripes of this plaid design that I got. So I got a black and brown and white plaid design and wanted it to be masculine. And I simply cut along the edges of 2 lines of the plaid design all the way down the fabric. So this is folded over, but you want to do the whole strip of fabric so you have fairly long tails for a little boy. You're going to fold it in half though, because what I'm going to measure is the end where it's folded. For this one, I told you on the other one that I measured in 7 inches. On this one, I'm just going to measure in 5. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure in 5 inches, which is about right in the middle of this dark block right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine or if you're not comfortable using one, you can go ahead and just use a needle and thread. It's really, you're only stitching across the 3.5 inches of the plaid, of the fleece. So it's really a minimal amount of sewing that you have to do. So I'm just going to stitch right across here one time, back up to secure your thread. Go all the way across and back stitch again on the other end to secure. I'm gonna get all of your ends of your thread out of here, and I'm just gonna push my sewing machine out of the way because I'm done with it. That was all for sewing. So now you have what looks like a strip of fleece, but now there's a little pocket here on the end. So if you open up your scarf and you take the little pocket and flatten it out right to the center, you'll see you'll have your little pocket is now flattened at center. So those are the 2 sides of your bow right there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a scrap piece of fleece and I am going to take it from the back side to the front and I'm going to tie a knot around the center, and this is going to create my bow. I'm going to tie a knot, and you'll see if I open up on the 2 sides of my knot, that's where I'm getting my bow from. So just tie it as tight as you want. If you tie it a little looser, then your bow will not be as crunched up. If you tie it tighter, your bow will be a little bit more crunched up. But just tie a knot like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ends of my fleece scrap and I'm going to wrap them around to create the middle of my bow. So there was one, and so I'm going to take my other one and I'm going to wrap it around as well to cover up the end of the other one. And now you can see I have the center of my bow tie. You're going to want to do that kind of tight so that it's not bubbling out, or what you could do is cut off one of the sides so that you're only wrapping one tail around so it doesn't get as bulky. I might do that because for this one it seems to be getting a lot bulkier than my other one, and I think it's because it has a smaller bow tie. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of that one off, and then I will wrap the other tail around. When I get the thickness that I desire, I'm going to stop on the back, and I can cut off all of my excess. So I cut off that excess right there. Then I'm going to take my needle and thread. I already tied a knot at the end, and what I'm going to do is where my fabric is cut, right there where it's ended, I'm going to take my needle and thread. I'm going to start on the inside so that the little knot isn't hanging out where I can see it. I'm going to start on the, like, through the bow and come up from behind. So I'm coming out the front. This is really hard to see. I hope you can understand what I mean. And then all I'm going to do is make a few stitches back and forth to secure this piece around the center of my bow tie. So you can just do that a couple of times. It doesn't need to be, no. I guess you got to be a little bit careful because I just snapped the end of my needle. The fabric's kind of thick. Never had that happen before. We're live, so we'll roll with the punches. But now my needle doesn't have a tip, so I'm not sure if it's going to go through, which I don't think it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off my thread. Sorry about that. And show you what I have here. So it's not fully secured, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to have here is the two sides of my bow tie. You can uncrinkle them. I now have the center piece, which I was in the middle of sewing around there, and then I have the two tails that come down. You can see this one's a little bit smaller, a little bit more petite. And that's all you do to make the boy's bow tie scarf. So remember, you just flip the tails around and secure them in the front underneath of your jacket, and it looks really cute. I'm going to try and get pictures of my son in the scarf. He wasn't having it when I tried to put this one on him. He's ready for a nap. So I will try and get pictures and put them up on the blog too, so you can really see how it looks on a child. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again another time.